After turning professional in 1998, Roger Federer's career spanned 4 decades at the pinnacle of the men's game, during which he took the game to new levels. In this video, I have brought to you Federer's milestones and his competitor Nadal in tennis tournament. Make sure you stick with me to the end of the video so you don't miss any part of it. Without any further delay, let's get into it. What do you think about Federer's milestones and his competitor Nadal in tennis tournament? Around that time, Federer played Andre Agassi and Pete Sampras, took on great clay court players like Gustavo Kuerten and Guillermo Coria, stared at Marat, Safin and Lleyton Hewitt, and most famously went head-to-head with Rafael Nadal, Novak Djokovic and Andy Murray. He beat them all. If you believe that Federer's career has been formed by his battles with Nadal and Djokovic, then you can't place the blame on anybody except yourself. The top 3 players in men's tennis have dominated the sport, won a significant number of Grand Slam championships, and made it difficult for anybody else to get a look. Together, they were able to achieve heights that had never been accomplished before. It was at Wimbledon in 2003 when Rafael Nadal won his maiden Grand Slam title. At the same time, Roger Federer won his first 20 Grand Slam championships and 8 trophies at Wimbledon by defeating Mark Philippoussis in the final of both tournaments. He was unaware of it at the time, but as he progressed through the draw, a man who would later become one of his competitors was sitting in the grandstand watching him. But Rafael Nadal, who won his first Grand Slam championship at Roland Garros in 2005, was able to identify areas of weakness in Roger Federer's game. Despite the fact that the Swiss player had won 3 Grand Slams in 2004, he was not yet prepared to hit hundreds of one-handed backhands from the baseline on clay. Tony shared with us that in the beginning, they attempted to hit the ball high above Federer's backhand, since they were aware of the fact that Federer moved his wrist a little too much when he played backhand, which made it more difficult for him to compete with Nadal's spin on the ball. Rafael Nadal was informed on several occasions by Tony that Federer did not do particularly well while playing against Rafael. Tony believed that Federer typically provided them with a really simple comeback. He did not make enough effort. According to Tony, Nadal and Tony was a significant advancement, and he recalled that Wimbledon 2008 was his favorite memory. Both Federer and Nadal have competed against one another a total of 40 times, with Nadal holding a lead of 24-16 and having won 14 matches to Federer's 10 in championship matches. Nadal has defeated Federer 10 times in 14 Grand Slam encounters, including dominating Federer 6-0 at Roland Garros. At least twice in the finals of 3 of the 4 Grand Slam tournaments, but not the US Open, they have played each other. The contest pitted right-handed players against left-handed players in a V-Power format, and it featured everything that fans could want. Despite the fact that Nadal has faced Djokovic in a greater number of matches than he has faced Federer, and regardless of the fact that Federer and Djokovic have also competed against one another more frequently, the rivalry between Nadal and Federer appears to have a very unique status in sports and for both players. When questioned about it at Wimbledon in 2022, Rafael Nadal acknowledged that they had accomplished a great deal of significance together. He stated that in light of everything that they had accomplished together over the last 15 or 20 years, it was difficult to think about tennis without recalling their rivalry. They had performed in every major stadium across the world, except the one in New York. Nadal was dissatisfied that they had never competed against one another in New York, despite the fact that they had competed against one another and fought for the most important things everywhere else. Federer is keen to point out that Nadal altered his playing style during their match. Because of the manner he played, he was the only one whose natural skills weren't always sufficient to win due to the way he played. Tony believes that the fact that Federer was able to turn things around made him even more outstanding. According to Tony, Federer, who had been off from the tour for 6 months while recovering from knee surgery, overcame a breakdown in the last set to win the 2017 Australian Open. Federer won the title regardless of the fact that he had lost the previous set. Since 2012, when he won the Wimbledon championship, this was his first victory in a Grand Slam tournament. When Roger Federer started hitting the first ball, the return with more speed in 2017, everything began to shift. Federer stated that he did not wish to participate in any further rallies. On the hard courts, Rafael struggled to win matches against him because of his lightning-fast performance. The most embarrassing moment was Rafael Nadal's victory in Australia in 2017, which came in the 5th set with the score 3-1. Tony claimed that Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal were similar in their approach to the game, despite the fact that their playing styles were very different from one another. They demonstrated to everyone that it is possible to have a heated competition with someone while yet respecting that person and being friends with that person. It's not often that anything like that occurs, but it happened with these two guys, and it was quite cool. Next up, let's talk about Roger Federer becoming a super coach. The Swiss maestro's record-setting career ended at the Laver Cup. What will he do now? Roger Federer has been on the tour for 24 years. Now that he is retiring, people want want to know what he will do next. That's interesting, right? The 21-time Grand Slam winner has a lot of options available. Forbes magazine says that between 2021 and 2022, he made $90 million from endorsements. This made him one of the highest-paid athletes in the world. He put money into the new shoe company, which is already worth a lot. Some companies that sponsored him were Berea, Credit Suisse Group, ADS, Mercedes-Benz, Rolex, Switzerland Tourism, and Uniqlo. Federer has already made a lot of money from tennis, so he could easily decide to do nothing in the future. One report says that the 41-year-old has made an amazing $1.1 billion before taxes and agent fees throughout his career. Federer has said that he has no plans to stop playing tennis in the future and hopes to stay involved somehow. It's unclear how he plans to do that, but he could become a coach, for example. Tennis stars like John McEnroe, Yvonne Lendl, and Boris Becker have done this. When reporters asked Novak Djokovic if Roger Federer could be a mentor, he said that he thought Roger had a lot to offer. It is logical to assume that he could teach anyone so many useful and valuable things. If he ever thinks about doing that, he would help that player, whether male or female, get better in every way, on and off the court. He is undoubtedly one of the best players who ever played the game the way he did, with style and ease. People probably think he was born with a natural talent, but he always talked about how much time he had put into perfecting the game, so it looked easy. Novak Djokovic said that he respects him and understands what he has to go through to make shots that look easy but are very hard to do. During the Laver Cup, Federer talked to his teammates about how to play the match. One of the most interesting things about the competition is that players can advise each other while playing, similar to coaching on the court during the WTA Tour, but in a less formal way. Andy Murray, a former world #1, weighed in on the debate and said that Federer might find it hard to teach people who aren't as talented as him if he goes into coaching. Murray stated that he was certain that if he was ever to coach one day, which is not necessary for him to do, he would select players who would make him want to teach and help them in the important games. Murray found it difficult to keep in mind that even if you were as good and had as many alternatives as Federer does, you still might not be able to do what he had done. When he viewed a photo, he would occasionally think to himself, "Oh, maybe I should have taken that one." Federer took a well-earned break from tennis, so it's unclear what he will do next. He will keep participating in the Laver Cup, which his management company team started, even though there is one part of tennis he doesn't want to do. Federer said that, to be honest, he wasn't interested in going into politics in that way. He was on the ATP Player Council. Sometimes he was good, but sometimes he wasn't. Federer has an amazing 30 Guinness World Records to his name at the end of his career. That's all we have for this video. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to see more videos like this, and we'll see you next time.